I have a dear friend who's part of the Yang Gang and is riding very hard for you. So he's very excited you're on today. So I was first really introduced to you in the last debate. Universal a peg for every hole is always my problem with the left right now. There is not every American is different. Every American does things in different ways. Oh, yeah. So I would say, I don't know. You also believe in staffing a White House psychologist.
Yeah. That's an idea.
Yeah.
That's a good one.
I'm not mad at that one. That's fine.
Oh, good. Well, we need to destigmatize mental health issues in this country. But in Alaska, they have a dividend.
No one at this table needs an extra $1,000 a month.
But in Alaska, they have a dividend of $1,000.
Well, I wouldn't feel right. I mean, when there's still veterans on the street and helpless.
But that's what you could use it for. That's what he means when he says it reminds you you're an American. Yeah. It's not just about what you do for yourself, it's what you do for other folks.
And in Alaska, they give the dividend to everyone in Alaska from the petroleum fund, $1,000 to $2,000 a year, and it depoliticizes it, it destigmatizes it, it's just everyone gets it, and so there's no, like, oh, you get it, I don't.
As the millennial at the table, I would love
what about me? I'm a millennial.
But my generation, okay, excuse me, it's Joy and I as the millennials at the table, but every Democrat that comes on, the answer is write a check. And the problem is the deficit is going to my generation, and that's already the problem right now. This question,
all right.
If you don't mind.
I don't mind, but I want to answer it
Do you have an answer that is... Okay.
Go ahead.
Sir, you can answer. Just like grassroots candidates who are changing narratives, changing conversations, and I wish the media would give him more credit than he has been given.
Your fundraising numbers alone, you should be treated in the same capacity. I think you only raised $9 million less than Joe Biden. I mean, I do think the hashtag Yang Blackout is something that was real, but...
I am a numbers guy, I agree. Our numbers
The media keeps talking about the lack of diversity in the Democratic field, and you were the only person of color who was, just give me a second, that were qualified for the last debate. Is being an Asian man not diverse enough for the media? I don't understand why you're completely excluded from this.
Effervescence to him, the way he campaigns. Yeah. The thing that I like most about him is he looks like he's the only person that's genuinely having a really great time in politics. Yeah. And I think that's significant right now, given that everybody is miserable on that stage except for him. And he gives very candid answers. And by the way, his base of support is very young. It's 18 to 29 years old, where he has 9%. And although older people tend to vote in higher numbers, it's still significant when you're talking about the new generation coming up. And I do think when you're talking about the whiteout or the fact there are no minorities left on the stage, obviously he's still standing very strong. Now. From a media blackout. He is not getting, we have talked about this many times on the show, that given where he is ranking and polling nationally, he should be getting the same amount of press as other candidates that are doing on the same level, and he has not. No. So with exposure, he represents everything that the old guard is not. And the conversations we're having about automation in the United States of America and auto workers being put out of place in places like McDonald's, where you're just going to put in numbers and then your food's going to come out, that conversation is only being done on a debate stage because of this man. And I respect that as well.
You know,
don't underplay
I don't understand why these